5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, October 23rd. Jordan, would you start us off with the roll call, please?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Foberg.
Present.
Liebelt.
Present.
Reif.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold. Langer.
Present.
Norvstrup.
Present.
Mayor Shonneman.
Present, please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. City Finance Director has asked me to take this next motion with an amendment, which would be to eliminate consent calendar item 6D from the ride line procurement policy. I guess that would be under new business D. Is that correct? I'm looking
That's
at
correct,
that. So not consent calendar, but new business item D. So I would take a motion to approve this agenda with that amendment, if possible.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Norvstrup, and that is to approve this week's printed agenda with the adjustment of eliminating possible approval of the ride line procurement policy. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
and opposed, nay. Motion carries. Move to the approval of our minutes from the previous meeting, which took place on October 16th. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilwoman Liebelt and a second from Councilman Johnson. Does anyone from the council have anything to speak up on as it relates to the printed minutes that we've been provided? All right then, all in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed? And opposed, nay. Motion carries. We'll move right along to our consent calendar where we've got 8 items of routine city business, including 2 proclamations. Seeing no one from either of these proclamations here, I'm not going to read them here tonight, but I would like to make mention specifically that we've got a VFW Buddy Poppies proclamation as well as a National Veterans Small Business Week proclamation. Can I get a motion to approve our consent calendar this week?
I'll move the consent calendar.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne, second from Councilwoman Liebelt. Does anyone on the council have anything to discuss as it relates to any of these consent calendar items?
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, David.
I just want to make sure people know I'm going to abstain on the consent calendar, but my vote will be for everything else on that.
All right. Let the record show that Councilman Norvstrup will be abstaining on consent calendar item A, and we'll vote on the remainder of those items. So why don't we go ahead and take a voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving right along to our new business. Our very first item of new business for the evening is a public hearing and possible approval of a retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota Farm wine license to the Pick Wong DBA International Kitchen, which is at 1721 6th Avenue Southeast. Looks like no one's here to speak up on behalf of those guys, so I would imagine someone from the council might be interested in carrying this motion.
Moved.
Second.
Motion, Councilman Ronayne, second, Councilwoman Foberg. Does anyone on the council have anything? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Moving right along, we've got a possible first reading of an ordinance titled 231002, which repeals sections of the Aberdeen City Code regarding special security guards. And as you probably noticed, we had a consent calendar item which dealt with issuing some licenses for a couple of out-of-state security guards just a week or so ago. Ron, what can you tell us about this ordinance?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Shonneman. Excuse me. Ordinance number 23-10-02 proposes to repeal are city code sections regarding special security guards. The city for decades has regulated private security guard services for businesses and events within its limits. And the reason for that is to protect the recipients of those services. These efforts focus primarily on the licensure of merchant security and private security guards through our background checks conducted by the police department. But services and technologies readily available to businesses and their clients today that were not available in years past have rendered unnecessary the licensure by the city of persons and business organizations engaged in security activity. For example, when the licensure ordinances were first deemed a necessary public safety measure, criminal history background checks and skip tracing services were not readily and inexpensively accessible to employers, businesses, and event organizers, and technologies like surveillance cameras and the internet did not exist. The proposed ordinance would repeal the entirety of Article 3 of Chapter 30 Law Enforcement. After visiting with the Aberdeen Police Department, they absolutely concur in the repeal of those, finding that it is an additional burden upon persons wishing to provide those services. We would ask that the council approve the proposed ordinance.
I'll move to approve the proposed ordinance, repeal.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne, a second from Councilman Johnson, and yeah, I'd like to take a moment and just thank David. He brought to my attention that he was going to be bringing that forward, so thanks for looking out for all of us in terms of unnecessary regulation there, Councilman Northrup. Anything from the council before we take a vote on this, or any questions for our city attorney or police chief? Go ahead.
Please, Mayor. I'm just
Councilman
curious,
Johnson.
how many such licenses might we grant in the past in a year?
Dave?
The average seems to be around 20 to 25 or 30 licenses. It's not that many, in my opinion.
Okay. And so any reduction in fees paid would be nominal, won't it? Just looking at that number.
That's correct. I don't think we would notice that at all.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, no further questions. Jordan, I'm going to kick things over to you for a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Boberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Wright,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a possible approval of a purchase of a motor grader from the Butler Machinery Company.
Oops, item C. Mayor?
Oh, got ahead of myself here. Sorry about that. We'll skip right back to the actual item that was next in our agenda, which is a possible approval of a resolution titled 23-1002R, which approves amended project plan for a TIF number 39. So Ron, and I know that Darren's here to supervise us on that one, so he's probably sweating a little bit, but I was going to skip that thing over.
Thank you again, Mayor. The council, if it recalls, created TIF 39 by adoption of a resolution back in May. That resolution specifically identifies both the reimbursable project costs and the interest rate that the council had deemed would be permissible for that particular TIF. Since that time, however, the two things have come in. Number one, the construction cost estimates were actually less, which was a very nice surprise. But at the same time, the potential financing for private placement of these as bonds, the interest rates were no longer acceptable at 4.25% because of what's happening in that market. And so we decided to move forward with a formal amended project plan, and Happy had agreed to go through that process. The Planning Commission did approve that. You'll note that the overall project cost amount has actually decreased by almost over $90,000, but because of the change of the interest rate and because of the fact that that interest rate is specifically mentioned in both the resolution and the development agreement, we've recommended that they go through this formal amendment of project plan. They have. Planning Commission recommended approval, and we ask that this council approve the amended project plan for TIF 39.
I will move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, a second from Councilman Norvstrup. Jordan, about how many dollars does a swing like that in interest rates wind up being in terms of the overall tip amount?
Mayor, I haven't calculated that figure.
Darren might.
Do you know it offhand, Darren? 400,000, so about a $90,000 decrease and about a $400,000 increase. And Jordan, you and I had a little bit of a conversation about these amended things, and it sounded like there was a state law that kind of supported the adjustment of these things.
Right, I reached out to the Department of Revenue, and they pointed out that we can modify up to 35% increase in the project cost without, or that 35% is the limit for an increase.
Without changing them having to recertify the tax increment base.
Also noteworthy is that we use the same creation date, so it's the same time frame from the start.
All right, does anyone from the council have any other questions? Jordan, about how many other TIFs are in development stage right now that might be affected by increases in interest of the projects that may be underway or otherwise adjusting costs of their projects?
I'm aware of possibly 2 or 3 that may be coming forward with a similar request. Also, speaking with the Department of Revenue, this is something that they're seeing all across the state. It's not unique to us. It's kind of the environment that TIFs were approved within the last year or so. The conditions have changed.
Sounds good. And it looks like $400,000 or $300,000 swing would amount to much less than 10% of this overall TIF amount. Okay, I'll state that as a fact if no one's going to answer that question. Then, so
I nodded my head. You were right.
anything else from the council? All right. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote then, please?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Weebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Abstain.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Darren, thanks for joining us here tonight. Congratulations. Next, we've got a possible approval of a purchase of a motor grader from Butler Machinery Company. Here to tell us a little bit about that is our Public Works Director, Stu Nelson. Stu, what can you tell us?
Thank you, Mayor. So, as it's kind of listed out here in your action form, this is a blade that we have budgeted to purchase. We're using the Sourcewell bid process, which enables us to go out and make this purchase without having to do a formal bid for it, which makes it considerably easier for our Public Works Department to do these kind of transactions. The blade's actually coming in a little bit less, about $7,000 less than what we had budgeted for it. So we're excited to see prices finally starting to kind of head in the right direction for us. By adding this blade, we are going to be able to eliminate a rental blade, which, based on the amount of use that these blades get in a particular year, we feel like owning them is probably a better solution for us long term, because we will be able to own this for a long period of time. So it'll be more reasonable for us than paying rent on a blade every year. So I guess that's about it, unless anybody has questions.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
As always, what does it cost?
The cost is about $385,000. 386 probably is closer.
And we'll be able to use it for at least 20 years, won't we?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And even if there's
Easily.
no snowfall this winter, it'll still be a good purchase in your opinion?
Absolutely. Well, I've made that bold prediction that we're not going to have a snow removal this year, so.
Well, we can't till January
Cope
1st,
with it.
according to our budget, so.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, Councilman.
I was curious, Stu, if we're able to transition to the use of this within the department without adding any additional employees? Do you
Yeah,
have staff to
absolutely.
handle it?
This would be operated by one of our employees that's currently would be operating one of the rental blades, so, yep.
Ah, okay, great, thanks.
All right, I don't believe I've got a motion or a second on this one as of yet, so,
I would make a motion that we approve this
all right.
particular grader.
So I've got a motion from Councilman Liebelt. Someone like to second that motion for this purchase? Got a second from Councilman Norvstra. Are there any further questions or discussion from the council before we take a vote? Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a possible approval of a payment title number 5 in the amount of $339,000, $339,948.30, and a change order for $24,533.94 to Reedy Construction for the South Dakota Street roadway improvement project. Stu?
Thank you, Mayor. This is, we're getting down to the final pay request for this project. This is primarily for the work done on the pavement that we needed to do as hand pours that couldn't be done with the paving machine, and also for all of the sidewalks and driveways that are kind of outside of the road. That's really the lion's share of what the costs are here, and then of course like the asphalt to patch back in and that kind of stuff. If you were by that intersection today, you might have noticed that we're putting up the poles for the signals, and within the next couple days, those should be functioning. Well, I guess we have probably a little bit more work to do without the road being blocked, but it's getting real close. And then, of course, we did a little bit of change order work there. If you have driven by there, if you look at the bank down on the corner of Dakota Street, we put in a new retaining wall there that's colored concrete in replacement of the landscape block that we took out of there, and I think that was a nice addition there. And we really probably didn't spend any more money. We didn't have to spend the money to have the block reinstalled, so it was pretty close to being a wash. So that was probably the biggest part of that change order.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson, a second from Councilman Norvstrup. Any questions for Stu as it relates to these payment or change order? Did a pretty good job explaining, so we'll move right along to our roll call vote. Jordan?
Councilmember Norvstrup,
Aye.
Langer, Councilmember Langer,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Liebelt,
Aye.
Fauberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a possible approval of a purchase of a carbon tank mixer from SPX Flow in the amount of $30,116 for our water treatment plant. I've got two names on this agenda presentation here. We've got Robin, city manager. We've got Stu, who wants to tell us a little bit about this carbon tank mixer.
Thanks, Mayor. I'd love to talk
All
about
right.
the carbon tank mixer.
Well, you're on a roll, so go ahead.
So we had an issue with this particular piece of equipment this summer. The guys from the utility department spent many days out there cleaning this tank out because it was we were having problems moving the carbon along through the system like it needed to. Once they were able to kind of attack the actual tank where this material is at, we realized that the blades for this mixer were actually laying in the bottom of the of the tank, and they weren't mixing the carbon, and that was what was causing our problem the whole time. So this purchase will remedy that situation, and we should be able to mix our carbon quite easily now. So
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Johnson. Any questions? Jordan?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Weebelt,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a possible approval of a purchase of variable frequency drives from DSG in the amount of $11,385.42, also for our water treatment plant. Stu, what can you tell us about those variable frequency drives?
So, variable frequency drives will help, they help with pump startup costs. When you're talking about a high service pump like this, it's designed to move a lot of water. They are very expensive to start. The power that's required to get them going is pretty excessive. So when you use one of these drives on those pumps, you can slowly ramp up the energy needed, and then also you can tailor the amount of water that you're actually sending to town very easily by just changing the frequency on these drives, and that makes the pumps run a lot more efficiently, and we don't have to. It's a little bit easier to balance our water supply that way.
Stu, is this replacing a different type of a technology of that, or is it just 100% on? Or
I believe
100%
that
off?
these are just new. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, but I think they're completely new, and we've not had these on these particular pumps. We use these in our booster station on several of our pumps already for moving the water from our ground storage tanks and out into our system, into the water towers. And they work really well there, so I'm certain that we'll have the same experience with these.
All right, thanks, Stu. Someone care to make a motion on this purchase?
So
Move to approve or second?
All right, I've got a motion from Councilman Norvstrup, second from Councilwoman Liebelt. Any other questions for Public Works Director? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Councilman
just
Johnson.
out of curiosity, we haven't seen one of these in years come up for approval for replacement. Can you just describe what that drive is like? Is it a small motor? Is it an electronic? More electronic piece?
I guess it's kind of hard for me to explain. Maybe Robin can help me a little bit here.
It's a control box that is wired into the motor itself. So this is a separate component where it basically, if you know what a rheostat is, this is a fancy rheostat.
Okay, just an adjustable
Yep.
electronic drive. Okay, thank you.
It's not a hard drive in the computer.
Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on that purchase then, please?
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Weebelt,
Aye.
Foberg,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thank you for joining us, Stu, and explaining all of those purchases for us here tonight. Next, we've got a review and approval of our claims and payroll. Payroll is for the pay period of October 8th through the 21st, and the bills, of course, for this week.
Move to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion, Councilman Ronayne, second, Councilman Johnson. Anything from the council? Jordan, would you give us a final roll call vote of the evening?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Foberg,
I accept the payment to Dakota Bank.
Weebelt,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Norvstrup,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our city manager's report. Robin, what have you got for us this evening?
Okay, here you go, Viv. Do you want your beef?
What?
God, that's so cute.
Ah.
Tiffany, mute yourself.
Good timing.
Well, that was the city manager's report for the night. So.
You know, I didn't catch any of it. You'll have to reiterate.
Something about you being cute.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You're all very cute.
Thank you, Tiffany.
So, first of all, you probably noticed somebody new at the table today. So I wanted to introduce Ken Hubbard as our new Community Development Director, effective today.
Great.
So, Ken, welcome. Look forward to working with you, and hopefully, the council gets a lot of wise thoughts out of your head, so.
A lot of community development
There
thoughts.
you go, there you go. Secondly, we will be doing a levy inspection tomorrow with the Corps of Engineers. This will be a detailed inspection. Folks from Omaha, as well as down in the southern part of the state, will be here to help us go through that process. And Stu and I have done this with them for many, many years, and hopefully this will be a good, productive meeting with them as well. And then thirdly, I thought maybe Stu could give us an update on the 8th Avenue signal at Brown County 19.
So not to really, I don't really want to throw anybody under the bus here, but it really, all we're waiting for is to get primary power from Northwestern Energy. And once we have that, and it's a run of about 8 or 10 feet of wire that they need to install, and it's, you know, it is what it is. It just takes, sometimes it takes a while to get this stuff organized and off the ground. And, you know, we're not the only customer that Northwestern has, so we're exercising some patience right now. And once, you know, once that power's hooked up, it'll be a matter of a few hours, and our contractor will be able to have those up and running. So we're excited for that, and we're hoping it will be very soon.
I believe originally we had thought that it was going to be the controller that was going to be the thing that was going to lag on it. I think that's what was reported
And
earlier.
It was, I mean, but it did show up here at the beginning of the month, and so that everything is in place. It just needs to have power so we can.
And I didn't mean to ambush you, Stu,
No,
but I thought
that's-
the council, they heard about one signal that
Yep.
is going up fairly quickly, and this one has sat there for a while, so.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
actually, I got a couple questions about that very place. And people said it was a little confusing because they weren't sure if everyone should stop or who should stop right now because there's signals, but no signals
Yeah,
working.
the signals, I believe, have been bagged. There's plastic bags over them, which is what kind of the rules state that we should do if it's not being operational. And the stop signs are still in place on Brown County 19. So, you know, once the signals are operating, then we'll pull the stop signs out.
And the
So,
bags, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
continue to
it
stop
is,
at that intersection
I
if
can
you're
understand
coming
why
from the north
somebody
or
might
south.
be a
Yeah,
little confused by that,
I was
but.
just curious if it made sense
Yep.
to do a four-way stop there temporarily. But it's above my pay grade.
You know, we can look at that. I'll ask some questions and just see maybe if that would be appropriate. You know, that we had temporary signals on the last signal project we did, but in this case, I don't think it's gonna be that long, so I don't know that would really be the answer for this one. It wouldn't probably be very economical.
Thanks.
Yeah, plus we've had traffic controlled that way for quite some time. So yeah, if there's confusion, of course. I have heard from a few residents from east of that intersection that are a little discouraged that that light is going in at all because it's going to inhibit their throughput on their way to their commutes to work. But it's better to avert the accidents if at all humanly possible.
Yes.
Anything else, Councilman Johnson?
Skipping back to the levy inspection, is that just a routine calendar thing?
Yeah, it's an annual thing. We do that once a year typically, and that gives us our standing. And actually, this particular one, I believe, is something that the Corps is wanting to do to help us with some FEMA mapping that will be coming up fairly soon. So we need some certifications on this levy to be able to do the proper things with FEMA. So it's kind of a hand-in-hand type inspection to make sure we can accomplish more than one thing.
Just one more question.
Go ahead, Councilman
Are
Johnson.
you gonna drive your Chevy to the levy?
Ha!
in case
We
the
have done
levy's
that
dry?
before, yes.
Checking.
Is your work vehicle a Chevy?
One of them is.
All right, make sure to take that one. Make sure to take that one for the 1970s music reference sake.
You're welcome.
All right, well, if there's nothing else from anyone else, I would take a motion to close this meeting down. Someone give me a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion, Councilman Johnson, second, Councilman Ronayne. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We are adjourned.